And we are live. So hello to everyone who was watching the VOD. Ladies and gentlemen, today marks one whole year of live streams. Pretty good, isn't it? Yeah. So to those of you who join in for the VODs and are not able to make it for the proper live stream, this is the standard affair where I get the stream set up before the stream actually gets going. So 1 year streaming anniversary Q&A special. Yeah, that'll do. Live streams, check. Save, check. That one. Volume down, check. Monetization on, check. Get the stream actually there. Hello, Ed. Thank you very much for tuning in. It's been a very busy weekend. I'll go into that in just a moment because there is a lot to say in regards to what I've been doing recently and with this stream. Yeah, a couple of somethings. Well, actually, just one something to show off, but that's all right. Right, time for the all ping. Everyone, live now. 2 hour Q&A anniversary stream. 223 people in the Discord server as of today. I love I've been able to keep that up. It's like a nice steady monitor of sorts for the Discord server, because there is a way of actually seeing who is actually in the server, like a proper counter. Let's try a bit self-promo on a couple of other servers. Let's see how well that goes. Hello, Josh. Very good to see you. Right. That's open. That's open. Whew, here we go. So, yes. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Proper introduction now. So, yes, as the title... So, if you refresh the stream, it should now say 1 year streaming anniversary Q&A special. Yeah, this is the day. Amazingly, it lined up so perfectly in a way where... What day did I do the very first live? I want to say it was a Saturday night. Hello, RK. Thank you very much for tuning in. How you doing? The very first live stream I believe I did was on a Saturday. Oh, it doesn't actually say on YouTube. It says the date, but not the day. Are we gonna have to go back? Oh, backwards. Can we do that? Yes, it does. January 22nd was indeed a Saturday. Yes. So it's quite lucky for me that I'm able to actually do this on a weekend, mainly on a Sunday evening, because, you know, the traditional live stream setting is me sat here talking with you, chatting, questions and answers, some reveals, and so forth. Yeah, very cool stuff. So yeah, 1 whole year of streaming. 38 streams in 1 year, which is pretty good. So this officially begins year 2 of streaming with episode 39 in the stream series, which is pretty good. There were a couple of hiccups. I don't know if anyone remembers any particular stream highlights. It would be cool to try and figure something out to put together some stream highlights, but at the same time, I think that's gonna have to go through every single stream. It's gonna be hell to do. A couple of things I remember were my impromptu review of the Ultimate Collector Series Hogwarts Express set. And of course, it fell off the front of the bed here, which is definitely one of the most highlight things I've ever done. I've had a couple of guests on as well, a couple of LEGO Train friends, and that was really cool just to chat with them and do it this way. It was, yeah, just, you know, a different sort of interaction. Glasgow Brick Subway being my previous guest, who had a bit of a funny moment when I went off to go grab something. That clip turned it into its own little video, which I thought was too funny not to have. Yep, the horrible Hogwarts Express wreck of 2022. It's really good though. I mean, that the fact that kind of happened it saved me from having to do a proper review of the product. Well, again, I'm still not fond of the set, but the fact that that happened, that's enough to warrant the review. Yeah, that's it. That's all you're getting. So it's pretty good. And a surprising amount of people actually saw that. There's normally the people who tune into the stream properly, but a couple of lug friends tuned in and they all saw it as well, which is pretty embarrassing. That's all right though. But yeah, this is a Q&A stream. I'm hoping for a few more people to show up because, you know, this is quite the event after all. So everyone's pinged on Discord. We got a few people here. So, okay, we'll let people tune in their own time. Oh, pardon me. I haven't even had the drink yet. It's a model adaptation of the Flying Kipper Wreck. This is a lot more drastic than the Flying Kipper Wreck. This is off a, well, basically for a Lego train, this would be going off a cliff. This is off the edge of the bed, you know. That's much more horrifying. So yeah, I thought I would take this opportunity to use this Q&A stream to basically answer some frequently asked questions. So I got 4 questions written down, and these are questions I'm still getting asked to this day. So hopefully, if you have any, this is supposed to be a Q&A stream, so as many questions as you like, fire them away in chat. I'll be right there with you. So first of all, when it comes to these FAQs, so FAQ stands for frequently asked questions. And if this is something that's like a particular question that numerous people ask over and over again over a long period of time, and whilst I haven't had these for a good couple of weeks, these are still questions that people, I suppose these are people who are new to the channel. They go, oh, that's cool, let me ask him this. But so the first question, notoriously, can you make this train out of Lego? It would be any train from a diesel to a high-speed train to something from a film to that Galaxy Express engine. Well, there's a couple of engines, I think, in the Galaxy Express anime or whatever it's called. I think it's just the Galaxy Express. That's what it's actually called, but the show is probably called something different. But that's been something that's been popping up recently. And, you know, there's just so many. I remember when I used to say the ultimate goal is to build every train out of Lego, even if it's just, you know, built it, documented for the sake of YouTube, put it online, and scrap it afterwards. That'd be fine. Well, for me at least, because you know that was a very hefty goal. Just build one of everything that ever exists. It's not quite the same aspiration now. But yeah, you know, there's countless models I do want to make, but there's a hell of a lot more that I don't care for making. So if anybody ever says, can you make this model? Not really. I've never been one to take requests. I've never ever done a Lego train request. You know, there's been countless people who say, can you make this particular model? It's just something that they want to see, but it's not something I want to make. There's no connection in the sense that we're not bonding on the same level. And besides, these are people on the internet. It's you know me through these streams, through these videos, and well, I don't want to say this in any way that potentially annoy people, but this is something that happened with me as well. This happens with everyone who watches YouTube. But when you interact with a YouTuber for so long, you feel like you've developed a friendship, but you're just a name on a screen. So to some people, they say, you know, they type a comment, they say something and ask a question maybe, and I feel like it's just going to happen. But no, it doesn't really work like that. So anything I want to make out of Lego is something I want to make out of Lego. I've got a long list of Thomas characters that I do want to make one day, but that list has been there for a good couple of weeks, maybe even a month by this point. Some more recent additions, of course, but you know, I'll kind of make what I want to make kind of in my own time. That's how it always really works. There's a lot of people in the Lego train hobby who get asked this question as well because you discover someone, you see their talents, and you go, oh, I wonder if he'll make something like. Do you think you can make this model for me? It's like 99% of them will be the same. Like if someone does make this particular model for you, it's going to be digital 100% of the time because they're not going to. Well, this is the fear that I've had. I remember when I used to think this way. It's never been something I've had to really say or kind of bring to light, so to say, because I felt like it was already there, like in people's minds. So Again, this particular situation hasn't happened, but I feel like, again, this is kind of something that people would understand in a way. So let's say somebody says to me, could you make this train? And there's enough motivation for me to actually go ahead with it. Maybe not straight away, but in time I go, you know what, that is quite interesting. We'll maybe go for that. I do a showcase video for it, and the person who made the request in the first place says, can you now ship that to me? Because whoever this person is could potentially go down that path of, okay, he's made this for me, now he's got to give it to me, because that seems to be the logical step. No, it isn't, because it's my model. I made it because I actually wanted to make it. You suggesting it was enough of a motivational kick to actually go ahead with it in the first place. So there's a lot to really kind of take in, but the simple answer is, if anybody ever says to me, can you make this Lego train? It's never going to happen. It's just, again, there's things I want to make, and everyone's going to have different personal tastes as to what models people are going to want to make. Again, I have my preferences. You know, I've kind of made everything I want to make. Again, the only thing left for me to really build is pseudo characters. I've made all the realistic stuff I want to make. I've got giants. That's fun. That's cool. There's loads of pseudo characters I want to make. So if anything, that's what I'm going to be getting on with in the future. So yeah, that's pretty much it. And yes, as Ed just said there in the chat, Lego costs money. So the fact that people, like I said a moment ago, if someone were to suggest a locomotive for someone who builds Lego to make, it's always going to be digital, because digital models are free. I mean, you're at your computer just using every part available in every color, and if you were to buy the bricks, it's going to be hell for you. So you know, that is what it is. There's nothing else that people can really do. I mean, I'm in the stage right now, going into this new year, going into 2023. I'm trying to actually save money. So this little black box here, this is part of an experiment for that. I'm not going to actually show you what that is, but yeah, there are things to that. So yeah, I've um, it's okay. I can expand on both this and another question later on. I'm still holding out for Harvey, but I understand finances are expensive. I did put Harvey on my list. Was it one of the newer ones? No, Harvey was on my original list. See, I will be building Harvey eventually. The models I have are in no particular order, really. But yeah, I do want to eventually get through all of these. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There's a dozen models here. I'm technically working on one of them right now as of this weekend. But, you know, slowly but surely, I will get through all of these. But if there ever comes to a point where I need to order parts, I'm not going to do it. Because, again, I'd rather keep money, you know. Trying to save it is a bit hellish. Okay, so that's frequently asked question number 1. Had to leave for a sec. What did I miss? You missed frequently asked question number 1, which was, can you make this Lego train? And the whole shebang answer as to why that's never going to be the case. So question number FAQ, so frequently asked question number 2 is, can I have instructions for this Lego train that you've built? Yeah, that's still a question I get asked a lot. Again, every now and then in more recent months, but it still crops up every now and again. It's more so with new people to the channel. They see a model like the Thomas characters more so. Oh my god, this is so cool. Can you give me the instructions how you made it? Because I want it. It's that level of fascination. We can talk about this to the end of time and everyone will agree and understand. It's a level of fascination that people have when they see this model. Again, just to use my Thomas, for example. Tonks Trains, hello, thank you very much for tuning in. Remember, folks, if you have any questions, get them in the chat. I will be right with them after these FAQs. As many questions as you like, within reason, you know, of course, to Nerf blasters and Lego trains and so on. But yeah, back to the FAQ. When it comes to instructions, these are normally from people who have discovered the channel for the first time. And they see a particular model that you have built and they go, oh, that's something that, you know, that's really cool. Can I have the instructions for that? Because I'd love to make one of my own. And yeah, there is a good chunk of people out there who make instructions for free, and you know, being able to reverse engineer models and kind of put it together, you know, that's his own thing. There are lots of people that will happily do that. But I am one of those people who will very happily build a model and keep it for myself. I mean, I like the uniqueness of my model. If I was going to build something specifically for instructions, it would definitely be something that would be a bit less special to me personally, and something that, of course, would be easy to build in the first place. But there is, again, it's also there's this level of fascination that people have when it comes to seeing a model and asking for instructions. Because again, I remember doing this years ago, and I kind of realized, I was saying to people, well, not to many people, but maybe one or two people where I asked instructions. I thought, oh my god, that's what they sound like. So I remember deleting the comment, and that's it. I never asked for years, and I'm never going to ask again because, again, I've been on both sides now. So the thing that I kind of struggle to kind of get to grips with, I suppose, when it comes to making instructions, is again the uniqueness. If I'm going to have instructions made for a model of mine, that means the model I have made is no longer mine. I mean, yes, obviously it's still my model, so to say, but at the same time, there are other people out there in the world who now have what I've built. So it is what it is, and that is something you have to accept anyways, because of course that's the whole point of instructions. Pardon me. But there's also been this sort of side of me that kind of gets a bit worried in the sense that there's nothing really stopping people from, let's say, again, digital instructions. You buy them, you download the PDF file, and you just share the file around. That instruction file could potentially go around in circles on the internet that I would never see, particular Facebook groups, in Discord servers, for example, just some places where a load of people now have access to these instructions for free because only one person paid for it. And that's another thing in of itself. So of course, if I were going to make instructions, the instructions would be paid for, because I want to be, if you're good at something, don't do it for free. And yeah, I would definitely try and use the opportunity to make a bit of money as well. I mean, there's no shame in saying that, but when it comes to the internet, everybody wants everything for free. So there's, again, there are a lot of reasons, basically all I've just listed, as to why I don't make instructions. I don't really have the means to make instructions in the first place, but it's yeah, it's tedious in so many accounts, and it's just not something I've ever been interested in. Turning into the Joker, I don't think the Joker really cares for Lego train instructions. So FAQ number, well, to say this is a frequently asked question is a bit unfair, because this is one I haven't had in a long time. But I've always had a bit of fun responding to the last couple of ones I've had. And every now and then, I remember early on, like a number of years ago as well, where people will just leave a comment saying, can I just have your train? Can I just have your model? I'll give you my address, you just ship it to me and just give me the model. Like, and there was this one guy I remember in particular who was, I think it was the same, yes, there was one guy years ago who, because there was one guy who, yeah, I'm trying to think. So there was one guy I remember who asked me for my models. I think he said he wanted to pay for them. Well, at least he had the decency to say that, but that's besides the point. And he went on. I remember one person. It was something along these lines, and yeah, exactly, Josh. Some people just ask for the whole damn thing. But there was one guy. I'm trying to remember what it was. Again, this was years ago when it happened, a couple of years ago. But I remember one guy asking for my models some way or how, and I said no to him. After a while, he kind of kept commenting, and I blocked him. I think, again, details are a bit foggy, but I absolutely remember this one particular guy leaving a comment saying that I didn't care for the fact that he supposedly had cancer and I wasn't helping him. And it was like, where the hell did this come from? It was the most bizarre, out of nowhere thing he said, and obviously it was fake, it was bollocks. Because I went to his channel and saw, again, it was only a kid, because a kid sees a toy and he just wants it. But for a kid to, and of course he was in good health, so his cancer comment was twice as worse. But it's just one of those things where he tried to guilt me into giving him something that I've worked so hard on. Time, effort, and money went into these models, and he just wanted it. And the fact that he went as far as to say, again, I absolutely remember him saying, "Oh, you don't want to do this to me because I have cancer," or something along those lines. But it was just, where the hell is this coming from? So yeah, that was a thing that happened over him just wanting my models. Again, you understand it in the sense that there are people that see it, they get excited, they want it, or at least they want their own version. If you get like if you saw one of my models, for example, just staying on topic, let's say some people see my model of Thomas. There are people that will go, "Can I have that model?" There are other people who will go, "I love how that looks, I'm going to make my own one." That second group of people are infinitely better to deal with than the first group, because they understand that if they're ever going to have that particular model, they're going to have to make it themselves. And then in turn, they will recognize and understand the time, effort, and money that goes into these models. So, yeah. There was another time that, so this is what I was trying not to get confused with. So, sorry, chat's going off. Let me catch up with chat one sec. Choosing beggars, yeah. A lot of people, a lot of my artist friends get excuses like that from people wanting free drawings. Yeah, I know that people who do art commissions get really antsy with how not want like so I can't remember. I haven't looked in. Well, it was technically on Twitter, which is I haven't logged into Twitter since Elon Musk took over. But I remember there's a YouTube channel I follow called The Ink Tank, and they do a lot of Ben 10 content, which is very cool. And the main crew, I think maybe all of them are artists in some way, and every now and then they do art commissions, which is very cool. And they have a price per commission drawing, which is very lucky. Of course, that makes sense. This is something they're taking time to do, and they're putting their skills to good use. So of course they're going to make some money from it. But a lot of people who are expecting these drawings just to come for free is stupid. It's exactly the same in the sense that, could you build this Lego train for me? Could you draw this picture for me? But I think with the drawing thing is, or at least the art thing, I should say, is a lot more devious, because if somebody asks someone to make a drawing, the artist posts that drawing online, save image, screenshot, print, done deal. That's it, and they've made no money from it. So yeah, it is a bit horrible. He was trying to guilt trip you with that fraudulent story. Yeah, he was. Like a horrible guilt trip, because once he said it, that was it. He got blocked. He was done. Some people are the worst. Ed launched the nukes with pleasure to the nuclear bunker. Oh, do you remember? I don't know if any of you remember or even know of this. I think it was Civilization 5, the Civilization games. I think it was Civ 5, where if you played against Gandhi and you turned down an offer or some kind of deal, his enemy, I don't know what it's called because I don't play Civ, but his aggro level or something like that will just spike from 0 to 100, and next turn it was a whole meme, it was a whole thing of nuclear Gandhi. So you know what, that's basically what that reminds me of right there. That's cool. I remember that. A lot of people underestimate how much actually goes into drawing. Yeah, I was tempted to do. So one thing I was tempted to do. Speaking of which, first of all, Josh, thank you once again for the wonderful Cyberman drawing you did for me. I am going to look into getting that printed out in the coming days and figuring out how to put it on my armor and on my drum magazine. Thank you once again, Josh. Everybody give Rock Band Hyena some love in the chat. Anyway, what was I talking about? I forgot what I was talking about. Something about drawing. Oh, I don't underestimate how much I had to go into. Yeah. So I suppose going into the other part of this question here, the "can I have your model" question. So the other thing was, there was another old guy, or another account from ages ago, I should say, who every now and then, through a couple of different videos, would increasingly get more assertive. I would say, "Can I have your model? Just give me your model. Yeah, just throw this one in as well. I'll send you my address in the next comment." and he progressively got more demanding. He never actually really leaked any personal details, but at the same time, there was this consistency of, he just wanted. And like with the other guy, I think this other demanding person, because there are some people that kind of make that comment once, but there's been the select few people who've been more consistent with it and more demanding, and that's the ones that you just ignore and you block. So I thought to myself, okay, I've got about a dozen people or a dozen channels or accounts blocked at the moment. I haven't had to block any more, so I wonder if I just clear all of these, I reckon we'll be fine. So I think on the same day or the day after, that account that was notorious for demanding models, straight away next day there was another comment saying, just give me your models, or it's like, oh, for God's sake. This guy doesn't quit. I mean, I don't know if he got the message, but at the same time, really? So yeah, that was a thing that happened. Everyone's still looking at the bunker from earlier. I just wanted to say you were the one that inspired me to make my own mocks. And plus, that kid went in a crazy different direction. Good thing that you hadn't blocked. Well, that's lovely to know that I helped inspire for your models. Thank you very much for telling me. That's really cool to hear. And there's more people than just him out there who were crazy. If we want to talk about crazy people, I've got the story for that. So I've told this story a few times, and I've always made it known that this particular story is something that I'm not comfortable with. But at this point, that discomfort rather is kind of gone now. I can look back and go, yeah, he was a bit of a dick. So before we actually go into this, does anybody remember or has heard of the story of the crazy guy in my Discord server who messaged me every day for weeks? Have I know, again, I know I've told this story, but is there anybody here who hasn't heard it? It's not that long of a story, but at the same time, it kind of shows the extent of some people's madness. Ed, I've said worse on streams. It's okay. I'm not in your Discord. Well then. So here's the story. Seeing as there's a couple of people I haven't heard, here is the story. We will get back. So there's one more frequently asked question I will get to after this little story here. I think you joined the server after the fallout of that incident. So, okay. So, let me get a bit more comfortable. Cross my legs. Oh, here we go. Hello, Seth Briggs. Thank you very much for tuning in. Good morning. Well, good evening for me. Good news for you, though. This stream is going on for another hour and a half, so you've got plenty more live stream to tune into. This is a 2-hour live stream instead of 1 hour, as mentioned earlier. And Seth, you are just in time for me to tell a story of a person in my Discord server who was a bit of a creep. So, I'm really curious to see the reactions this was a few years ago as well, because it was on the lead up to my birthday where things kind of really kicked off. Okay, so again, a few years ago, I want to say 2021, because it was definitely more than a year ago at this point. Because the reason why I say this is because on the lead up to my birthday, and on the day of my birthday, I had to do something to help this kid out. So I say kid, he was in his late teens, maybe somewhere between 16 and 18. So, and also this kid was someone who had, well, how do I'll just say, I'm not going to try and dance around fragile words. He was very clearly autistic in some form. So, is it the guy that tried to rejoin recently? What do you mean recently? Was this the guy? Was it you that showed me? Yeah, Seth, it was you that showed me that he sent you a message saying it's actually me. Please don't tell Luke. So yeah, it's that guy. That's who I'm on about. This is that story. So yeah, thank you for reminding me about that detail. Because that's the last point in this saga. So yeah, this kid joins the server, and gotcha. Oh, Seth, you make I laugh. Anyway, so he joins the server. He's got like one or two Lego train models. He's very like beginning stages, entry stages in the hobby. He saw some videos of mine. He evidently joined the server because of it. And for a long stretch of time, he would message me directly, just saying hello. I think, well, in order to be able to send a message to someone, you have to be their friend on Facebook. So, not on Facebook, on Discord, sorry. And oh, there it is. I think that's number 3. Anyway, so I think he messaged me asking for help on a model, and I kind of gave him any kind of help. Like, this was before rules were really properly introduced. So so after this point, and I consider high functioning. I don't know what this person is talking about. Well, again, I'll let you. Well, Josh, with that, I'll let you figure out what kind of where on the spectrum you would put this person. So I suppose this first bit I'm probably muddling up because he was able to message me consistently because maybe he directly messaged me and said, could you quickly help me out with this thing, and not in the server. Again, direct message, something nowadays you're not allowed to do on my Discord server at least. So after that, nearly every day, it wasn't actually daily, but nearly every day, he would send a message just saying hello. And he wanted me to respond, but I did. Again, this is going back to what I said earlier in the stream. I don't know who this person is. He's not a friend of mine. He's not going to be a friend of mine. You're chatting with me because we have the same hobby, which is Lego trains. Cool, fine. Again, if you're struggling with a model, I don't mind helping you out, but don't do it in a private messaging space. So after a while, he begins to, again, this starts to consistently pick up, and eventually I send a message back to say, could you stop messaging me because I'm just not going to respond? And then he got into some kind of argument with other people in the Discord server, and I remember one of these points included his profile picture, which was a bit risque, I suppose is the best word to. Nothing revealing, but it was one of the key things, what's the word? An anime trope, shall we say? An anime trope. I'll let you figure out the rest. Again, nothing revealing, but it was that was his profile picture. So there was this back and forth where, oh, hello, Miller. The subway boy has arrived. Come on, everyone boo with him. Why not? Anyway, so this person keeps picking up trouble in the server. One thing leads to another, and eventually I just kick him out because he continues to directly message me, and enough's enough. You got to say to him just to knock it off. And so yeah, he sent me a message. Well, he tried to send me a message afterwards and said, oh, he's sorry, can I come back here? And I said, no, that's it, you're done. I'm fed up of you. Because he also asked me, like, the day before, I think the day before my birthday, like, how do I try and do this? And I tried to show him, pictures and text, whatever else. But he also said he still couldn't get it. Looking again after the point, he had already made the sort of connecting joint thing for his model that he was already struggling with somehow. So on the morning of my birthday, after I'm all showered and breakfast, I stay up here to get a quick, I don't know, 2-3 minute video done, and then I send that to him. I'm having to waste my time on my sodding birthday as well to explain something that this person has already done and yet somehow got wrong. Yeah, it was not a good time interacting with this person. And then, of course, later on in time, he tried to join with a different account, but his alternate account was basically the same username as his previous one, so he got banned straight away. And apparently, he rejoined the server with a completely different username. Didn't know it was him until he messaged. I think it was again Seth. I think it was you that he messaged and it's just revealed. He sent you a picture of his model, and you sent that in turn to me. I was like, yeah, that's that guy, and he's gone again. So yeah, that was I think if you didn't bring that up earlier in chat, like about 10 or so minutes ago, I would have completely forgotten about that. But yeah, this is the worst case I've ever had of someone messaging me. Again, it wasn't anything bad in the sense like, oh, can I have can I have this from you? Can you please give me this? It was nothing like that. He just wanted to kind of chat with me, but it was that failure of perception that's what he was trying to do wasn't okay. So yeah, not the most exciting story, but this is basically a way of saying just behave a little bit, please, because this is still a public space. So yeah, that's pretty much everything. But it's it's not a good. It just wasn't a good sign. Come on, Miller, what's your question? I have one more FAQ to go through, but I'll wait for you and your little question here. What's your favorite locomotive and why is it the class 08? Well, what's the LMS version? That's something. Tweetsy Railroader, hello. Thank you very much for tuning in. LMS Gronk Diesel. What's the LMS? Because I remember seeing a slightly different version of the 08. Was that the 11? But the overall shape was, you can tell it was that engine, but it was slightly different in some shapes. Which one was it? No, not that one. The hell is that? That actually looks quite cool. Is that the one? Yeah, that's the one. So what is this? Is that an 11? It's very square. Like, the top of the body is much more square than the Gronk. Class. Oh, hang on. BR class 11. Not really. Yeah, I'll look into another. I'll tell you what was that other one? Because I just found a picture of. There it is. See, that I'm much more tempted to make. Can I share this on the? Let me try and share it in the chat. I'll tell you what, even better. I'll put this in the later LMS jack shaft shunter. Jack shaft. That does not sound that good. Copy paste Google Images. Something MEA. I'll tell you what though, that actually does look quite cool. That is actually really tempting to build. Okay, what I'll do is I will put this in the Discord server. Copy. Can I go into? Yeah, there we go. Real train chat. There we go. Let's put it in there. Paste. Tempted. That is basically a Gronk with a cylinder, but it looks really cool. Guys, that is tempting. Like, I've got a normal Gronk anyways, but that is actually, as a diesel shunter, that is tempting to build. Right, anyway, where were we? Class 11, ILMS, I believe. Did it have a overhang at the back above the windows? I didn't actually pay attention to that. Does it? Well, this is not the same diesel I'm looking at. Well, again, I don't remember. Maybe it did. Seth, can I post something? Can you post it in Discord? Yes, I've just done that. Completely misread that too. 2 questions. Will we see the TLR awards return this year? Beyond that, when will the first community challenge be this year? So, that's a really loaded question. Oh, hang on, he carries on. For a community challenge for next month, could you do Romance on the Rails? It's specific enough to get people creative, but also vague enough for you to have a ton of variation. Well, I'm glad you said that because here is the answer. So, in regards to the community challenge, I'm not doing the community challenge anymore. I have lost all drive for it. The reason being is because, well, the theme idea you said that Romance on the Rails is an excellent idea for a theme, but only 2 or 3 people are going to enter. And that was the case for the second season of Community Challenge because, well, I said this before as well. So the first season was very basic and broad. So stuff like I don't know what, like Tender Engine, just show me your layouts, show me this sort of thing. Oh, pardon me again. But again, when you look at what came through in the first season, it was so broad that you could enter near enough everything you have, like for each month. And it was cool, but the fact that it was so broad meant I couldn't really repeat those ideas in the future because I'm gonna run out. Because eventually I'm gonna have to narrow things down slightly, and trying to avoid repeats means I'm gonna have to try not to go back to something I've done. I mean, I could repeat a month, but if people enter the same models, that's going to be a problem because there's something that's already been featured. I'm basically repeating a video at that point. So when it came to season 2, it came to again the themes, like it was more challenge than it was showcase because again, like steam locomotive, show me diesel locomotives, that sort of thing. That was something that definitely works because we're so much more broader to what people have. And I wanted the community challenge to actually be something that people made for the sake of the community challenge, which I remember a few people did when it came to the Ghost Train theme in October. I don't remember how many other people really made something. Maybe some people did something new. I can't remember because it wasn't that long ago. But at the same time, there were very few models. There wasn't enough motivation and inspiration for people to make something to enter into the challenge. So there were definitely, for most months, there would be, let's say, 8 entries, but it would only be submitted by 3 people. Like one person would submit 3 models, one person would submit 4 models, one person would half build something and just submit that. I thought, well, great. So it's not enough to make me want to come back, because if only a few people are going to take part, I'm essentially catering for just those few people. And that's just not what I wanted to do. So, seeing as the community challenge drive, both from me and for the people I'm trying to do the community challenge for, was slowly, gradually going down, I thought, let's just end it. I just can't be bothered. What's the point? I'm not going to really continue, or don't want to put all this effort into the community challenge videos and the whole theme and keep it all going in Discord if it's not going to get any attention. Because again, I'm basically catering to the same few people. The themes were really funky. Again, the theme you submitted there, Romance on the Rails, sounds like really fun and a cool theme. Definitely could work. But, it's. I feel like I'm going to start repeating myself now at this point. So hopefully you get the idea. So, community challenge, that just completely derailed. That's gone. So, it is a bit of a shame, but no one was, there was no more excitement for it when it became more about building something specific for that month. Because having to make a model and then discard it and scrap it afterwards, that's not really fun. But at the same time, it should incite you to kind of make this in the first place, because again, building such a model could lead to something else in the future. That was kind of the idea in the first place. But yeah, it just fell apart. As for the TLR awards, it is not really going to return. I mean, it would probably be cool if it did, but the TLR awards were done with a very specific reason in mind. So, last year, when it took place, we had the LUKR, well, not it's LNUR, but LUKR, our Lego Train Club, hosted its own Lego Train Club for builders in the UK. We are a British train club after all, so we kept it more region based. and that was in about February, like the beginning of the year. And that was a fun thing to do, but it was more of a kind of experiment, so to say. I mean, the club could absolutely host its own competition in the future should it want to do it again, because the club is big enough, it'll have funds, it's got connections, it can get sponsors, that sort of thing. I'm only one person, so I can only go so far. The two sponsors I got were from club mates. So, yeah, it was cool that I was able to get that in the first place, but it was a lot, or it really was a lot of work to put it together. My competition took place between like the end of May and the beginning of July, with June being the main month to kind of get everything together and sorted. So, the reason why that all took place is because, again, it all happened kind of in the middle of the year. That was when the Brick Train Awards were initially meant to take place, but it kept getting pushed back to September, and there was a lot going on in the like there was a lot of excitement last year for the hobby as a whole, but this sort of gap between LUKR's Lego Train Awards to the main proper Brick Train Awards, that huge gap, like, there's loads of months. What are we gonna do? So that's where I stepped in and I thought, you know what, let me give it a go, and thus the TLR Awards were created. There were graphics, there were prizes, there were sponsors, 113 submissions total, which is very cool indeed. And the fact that I was able to post this on the again, the admin and moderators of the Lego Rail Facebook group are basically it's basically club run. So I was able to advertise and spam the whole thing on there, which is really cool. And yeah, I'm just amazed that it worked as well as it did. So again, the TLR Awards were just a kind of space sort of time filler sort of thing. It wasn't supposed to be something that would come back next year because, again, it's really cool for what it is, but it wasn't supposed to be something I would do again. It was kind of, again, I don't want to do this and kind of run up against the Brick Train Awards, because what I did, again, with categories and prizes and so forth, it was basically a kind of smaller version to what the Brick Train Awards was offering. Again, they're a full organization. I'm just one person. There's only so much I can really offer. So yeah, I won't be doing the TLR Awards again, sadly, because it took like it's too much for one person to do. It's possible because I did it, but at the same time, I can't see myself doing it again. It's too much for me to handle on my own. So you're best off just waiting for the Brick Train Awards, really. But thank you very much for your questions, though. There were two very big loaded questions. Tonks Trains, I have one question for you about Choo Choo Charles. What class does Choo Choo Charles resemble the most to you? I don't know. He's a very basic tank engine. The engine itself isn't based on anything in real life. The issue is, it's a tank engine, but there's no water tank and there's no coal bunker. So yeah, it's a bit of an issue. So trying to pick some real life resemblance is going to be impossible because it's not a detailed model. At the same time, it doesn't really matter what it resembles anyway, because the guy who made the game, I'm pretty sure he isn't that hardcore. Like, again, a spider in a train is the cool visual, but I don't think he's hardcore into trains or even at the level that's Oslop are. So yeah, no idea. It could be anything. I mean, you could make your own class of locomotive out of that. But yeah, I mean, I could never find anything close enough to that because it's so obscure in the first place. Montague, hello, thank you very much for tuning in. I'm back. I've missed your videos. Oh, really? I'm the one with the motor question with Big Red. That could be forever ago. But thank you very much for tuning back in, though. Very good to see you. No water tank or coal bunker. No wonder it's on a murderous rampage. Well, no water, no coal bunker. I mean, could be a diesel with a funnel for all we know. Hmm. Having 6 wheels and what looks like a saddle tank, Charles, to me, could theoretically be a Great Western 1361. But that's even, yeah, that's, stretching it. But again, like I said, it doesn't have any real life resemblance because there's a lot of aspects about the locomotive itself that Charles takes possession of that don't have any, like, there's nothing lining up with any locomotives in real life. Ed says BT well tank. Not a bad idea, but I think Charles has too many wheels for a BT well tank. In terms of shape, though, that's not that bad of a shout. Anyways, we still need to have one more frequently asked question, which is one that got a bit derailed. First of all, there we go. And I also saw what I mentioned about the LUKR awards. Glasgow Brick Subway corrects me with LNUR. I mean, the fact that people still faff around with them. I mean, I don't like how the club has 3 different names, but again, who cares? And I think you mean LSUR at that point. I mean, even I don't use that, and I'm Southern. Anyways, the last frequently asked question that I had lined up, and one that I still get to this day, because of course I do, and you might already know this. When will you make this Thomas character? Of course. So, over the past few weeks, when it came to the live streams, I have mentioned my LEGO Train to Build list, featuring a number of Thomas characters. So to go through it now, Daisy, Fergus, Arthur, Stanley, Harvey, Mavis, Boko, Neville, Molly, Rosie, and Ryan. So, again, I do want to build all of these in time. Finding the motivations to actually want to get on with these is a bit tricky because I'm trying not to spend money on Bricklink orders, which I know loads of these are going to take up. I'm not looking forward to Rosie and Ryan, which is why they're at the very bottom. But there's always potential that I don't mind building Rosie in red. And Ryan is going to be hell to figure out. Oh boy. But you know what? It will be interesting at the same time. If I could actually pull off Ryan in a shade of purple, I will be so happy. That would be very cool. Miller, if you have a question, just ask it. Don't wait for me to see this and respond. Just go for it. Build Ryan in LNER green. Tempting, but it's I'd rather build Ryan in purple just because it's different. I mean, green would be much easier. It really would, but at the same time, purple would be much more visually striking, which is, yeah, that's what I want to build. So that's your question. When are you going to make a Garrett? One of the giants that I planned on making was actually going to be a Garrett. So I specifically have the nameplate so all of the giants that I've got have nameplates that are taken after mythical creatures. So I've got Dragon, Basilisk, and Manticore at the moment. Kraken was going to be the Garrett. I thought Kraken was quite fitting because obviously a Kraken has a bunch of, it's a massive squid basically, so lots of squiggly legs. And a Garrett, try not to get my words fumbled here, and a Garrett has at least 2 drive units, but they're kind of separated in a kind of weird, unique way. The Garrett I wanted to make would be what's called a Super Garrett, which would have 4 drive units, because why not? I build giants, I'm good at this. So I think I would use standard large drive wheels, just not to make it too massive, but standard large wheels because I can still get some drive units made. I kind of keep it a bit more compact. So I can definitely work on making that work. Oh, you need to make a giant called Merlion. What is a Merlion? I think that's Merlion creature? Yeah, well, that kind of says it for me. But yeah, one called Merlion. Well, I've got the... What's the other one I've got? It's over... Well, I think it is over there. But I've got 2 more nameplates. Oh, Demon! That's the other one. Kraken and Demon. So, again, those are the other 2 nameplates I have made for future giants. Again, a Garrett would be one that would be really cool to do. But that's been on the back burner forever. I want about a Malay Garrett. No, so what's the... Was it Union? Union? Super Garrett? It's not the one that I think... Well, not this one at least. Oh, that streamlined design looks so good. Ooh. Oh my god, yeah, I forgot about that design. I might even try that. The Hexablack's cab forward. God, that's that is tempting, you know. I might even do it that way. Let me put this image in. Nope. Let me put this in the Discord server. Okay, so I've just posted a picture in the Discord server of... That's not what I had in mind, but seeing that is a cool, crazy design I would love to try one day. I might even use that as the basis for the next giant, which is Kraken. But yeah, I get Seth. I've just discovered that for the first time, just like literally just now. That's not the design I had in mind, but I don't think I'm going to be able to find the design I'm trying to explain. Just picture your conventional... Oh, there it is! Aha! Okay, hang on. Copy, paste over again. That's what I'm on about. That type of wheel arrangement. So it's in the Discord server right now. It's the latest picture. It's underneath the Hexaplex. So it's your standard Garrett shape, but with 2 drive units on each end. That is what I originally had in mind. Of course, with the tenders built up to be bigger and streamlined, that sort of thing. That Hexaplex, I mean, technically possible. Don't tempt me, because I might actually build it. Oh man, but well, anything's possible. That would not like R40 curves. Ooh, that would not like it. But yeah. That's basically what I had in mind as a Garrett in the future. Yeah, I will do it one day, eventually, because that was the plan, to have a Garrett amongst my other giants. Speaking of building, so we were talking about Thomas models. So going back to Thomas characters, there are Thomas characters on my to build list that I would love to get on with. And this is the... Oh, pardon this, that's the burp. But this is the segue into... Oh, just uncrossed my legs. Another round of letting my blood flow back through my legs. I spent this weekend making some more Thomas characters. Let me fix up my fleece one sec. Let me make myself look a bit more presentable. There we go. That seems to be a bit better. So yes, I've been working on some Thomas characters this weekend, and kind of went okay. I mean, I'm currently going through a rebuild for this, and I'm much happier with how this is at the moment. This is, again, so Mark 1 was finished earlier this evening, and I've taken a few quick clips and a couple of photos for a dedicated Thomas and Friends kind of chat room. But I've been working on, and well, technically still am working on, at long last, Annie and Clarabelle. Yeah, I've got the other ones down there. I am working on this properly, I promise. So let me just make sure I'm on the right thing. There we go. So yeah, this is your reveal for the stream. I have Annie and Clarabelle at long last. So this is the good news, bad news thing. And we have just hit 1 hour of live streaming. 1 more hour to go, everyone. So, yes, more carriages. Excellent. Seth, seeing as you're awake, it's morning for you, so that's okay. Get your ass into the Lego Thomas Talk server and check out the recent pictures and photos I've posted in the Lego Models tab, because that is some saucy stuff. Anyways. Oh, no, that's not what I wanted to click. That one. There we go. More light. Anyways, yes. Tell you what, let me actually grab the other one, so, that way you believe me when I say I've built them both. Oh, yeah. There we go. Here's the other one. Oh, hang on, let me put that there. I've learned my lesson from the Hogwarts Express set. We are not putting anything over there so it doesn't fall off the ruddy bed. Ready? See? I did build them both. So, yes. Oh, good lord. I'm a bit gassy this evening. And that's not even from the drink, that's from dinner. Anyways, yes, Annie and Clarabelle, they are being built. The inside is quite hollow. And frankly, I think I'm going to keep them like that. I don't really have any minifigures to actually put inside. But, I'm not too fussed about that either. The Mark 1 version of these coaches was also powered. So, yeah, that was interesting. But the issue I had with these being powered was, first of all, I only have a medium motor. Well, I've got an extra large motor as well, which has good power and torque. But I could fit it inside. I mean, these coaches are 7 studs wide, and an extra large motor is 5 studs wide, and I can technically put it in. But the problem is, I don't have the kind of appropriate way to stick the motor to any part of the, anywhere inside of the coach to keep it rigid, which is a real shame because I would love to have used the extra large motor to make this work. More testing was done. I went back and forth. Eventually I got to the end product of Mark 1. And again, it's basically this. The only thing that's really changed is I've taken out the power function stuff and I've replaced the wheels with the metal ones, or the metal bar ones, I should say, with the brackets. So you need. It's not bad for what it is. It really isn't. But it's just, I wish this was not as complicated to build as it turned out to be. So I don't really make these kind of models. I've always made express coaches. I've always made tender engines. Making small 4-wheel branch line coaches for tank engines, that's not something I've had to do, well, in a long time. Well, I would say, in a long time would be technically more correct, because I have made coaches for Stephenson's Rocket. They are still some of my best coaches ever. But this is something very different. This is much longer. This is, what was it? The main body is 26 studs long. The buffer beam kind of sticks out a little bit more than it probably should. So if I do that, there we go. So yeah, the buffer beam sticks out a little bit more than it should. But again, I've not had to make such a model like this before. And it's, again, it's all right. It's good for what it is. I am also trying to figure out how to kind of make the roof look a bit more tidy. But it's, again, on its own time. One thing I will say as well is the version that I'm making is not necessarily Annie and Clarabelle. I don't have end windows, which is something that I know someone's just pointed out. I don't think I'm going to do end windows. Like, again, the way I've had to build this, I don't necessarily have the kind of free space. Well, I probably could put something there. I think I would just make it a much more fragile build, which is something I'm trying to avoid in the first place. I've definitely had a few moments where I've crushed these models in my hands kind of unintentionally. But yeah, I mean, it's not bad for what it is, but it's not, again, I don't make these kind of models. So the fact that it's turned out like that is not a bad thing at all. But at the same time, it could definitely be better. But I don't have the experience in models like these to make something better, which to some people might sound like a shock. I've made loads of Lego train stuff, but I kind of focus on one particular area. Again, streamlined passenger services, bigger coaches. That's more than what I make. That's new. That really is new territory for me. So yeah. I have an idea for a mock freight car being hauled by a horse train. Well, I mean, you could go back to the early 1800s, get yourself a carriage and horse. There is a wagon called a children wagon, so children but spelled with an O instead, I think. But it's a very, very tiny wagon, like a mine sort of wagon, basically. And that was the sort of thing that was hauled by a horse. So, possible. Ever thought of making the breakdown train? Yes, very. I mean, a breakdown crane in general would be something I would like to make. I do technically have a crane in the form of the crane that comes with the 2018 City Cargo train set. Children, yes, that's the one. Hang on, let me just copy and paste children. Ooh. Yes, that's the one. Oh, it's without the U. But yeah, that's the wagon I'm on about. I think Hornby made these last year. They are tiny. They really are tiny wagons. But those, I think, were wagons. I think these were the ones that were hauled by, like one or two would be hauled by a horse. But yeah, I mean, that's a very funky thing to see brick built. Again, possible, I suppose. But yeah, that's what I was on about. And back to the breakdown crane. Yes, I have a crane, but it's from the 2018 City Cargo train set, and it's slightly modified, but it's in a box. One of those boxes I have over there. I think I've taken some parts from it as well, so it definitely needs reassembling. But again, technically, I do have one. Making a proper one, I don't think I'd be able to do. Again, I've not made freight stuff, let alone make anything crane related. So if I was going to make a crane, a proper length crane with string would be absolutely something to build, but it's not something I have built before. So I think I would have to look to sets, make the crane bit up, then take the crane bit off, kind of rework it into a breakdown crane of sorts. So yeah, I mean, it's yeah, again, basically like I just said. I am repeating myself, but you know that's new territory. Not something I would go into anytime soon, but every now and then that thought does come to mind when I think, a crane would be cool. I think there would have to be a hardcore set out there of a breakdown crane for me to want to go for it. Montague says, have you ever heard of Sodor Fallout? Yes, I have. It's definitely something. I remember the guy who originally made Sodor Fallout. I think he made a tweet about it, or it was like a YouTube post or a comment somewhere, where he hated the fact that he made Sodor Fallout, and he hated all of the horror stuff that came from it. That other people would be inspired by it to make other horror-themed Sodor stories and whatever else based on Sodor Fallout. And it's just, it's not good. But the thing is, it's scary not because it's a horror thing. It's scary because the main theme is radiation. That is some scary, scary stuff. It really is. So, yes, I have heard of Sodor Fallout, but I'm glad there are no more proper episodes, so to say, anymore. Question: do you plan to build other cartoon locomotives like Ivor the Engine? And Tonks trains are referring to Smith movies. Smith movies, yeah, he made one, and I think that's a very good version of Ivor. I remember going to the Swindon Lego train show, the Great Western Lego Show, or Steam, as it's now modernly referred to as, where I think it was like the first year, 2016 when I first went, or 2017. I want to say it was the first year, but I can't remember because again, it was ages ago. Where there was another version of Ivor that was built, and it was a really cool model. And I think Ivor would be a fun thing to make one day because it's a tiny engine. So, not impossible, but I'd have to really think about how I can make it as tiny as I can. Again, I mean, it could work. But again, this is one of those models that isn't quite on my radar. But obviously, Ivor is just an example to cartoon locomotives. I don't think there are that many other cartoon locomotives. Something like the Little Engine That Could, for example. That's something that Jang Bricks made, and I like how his turned out. But this is one of those cases now where, so Smith Movies made Ivor, Jang Bricks made the Little Engine That Could. Again, cartoon engines, but as the example, they've both made those models, and they look excellent. So in a way, they've basically built it for me. It would be cool to try and make my own iterations one day, but right now I don't really have. Again, that's not on my radar. It's not on my to build list. So again, not impossible, but not anytime soon either. That's basically the motto for most models. Not impossible, but not happening tomorrow. I ask this almost every single time, but have you watched Sodor Dark Times yet? Taking nuclear train to a whole nother level. No, I haven't, and I don't think I will. Sodor Dark Times. Let me quickly search this up because friendly supercut. This does not look that good. 13 years ago. Is this supposed to be the same thing? Nah, I mean, I don't care for really watching fan stories made by Trains for Days. All right, okay. So, oh, hang on. So there are 8 episodes at the moment. Well, seeing as they, well, bloody Nora. Half an hour episode, like 43-minute episode, 50-minute episode. Jesus. Well, I think I've said this before. I don't really care for watching that many, or any, in fact, kind of fan Sodor stories. But yeah, I mean, when it comes to something like this, or those Dark Times, where there's probably got this horror undertone, it's just less appealing because I don't look at anything Sodor related and go, yeah, I want to watch this horror themed train show. You can definitely tell some, again, like with Sodor Fallout, there's definitely a lot of Sodor story potential. Uh, they are. They good. Well, maybe they are. I'll tell you what. Let me get that tab back up. Let me quickly put this. Let me put episode 1 on my watch history. Right. Okay. A few seconds into the video, that'll do. I'm gonna take. I'll turn off that tab. It's more based around war. Well, yeah, that's pretty much. That's not what I want to really watch Thomas fan stories from. Again, like Sodor Fallouts, it was just not the tone the series really needs when it comes to fan stuff. Exactly, How to Ruin Your Childhood 101. And hello, Union Pacific fan. Thank you very much for tuning in. We still have about 45 minutes left to go. Oh, I don't want to sound like one of those kids, but has logging locos crossed your mind on making them? I'll tell you what, there was a period of time, well, a very, very brief period of time where I thought they seem like easy models to make. I probably could make them. So again, that was, I don't know how long ago that was, but they were very briefly on the to build list. But they're the logging locos. Oh, I don't want that in my fleet. God no. So yes, it has crossed my mind, but I don't think I will. There are some Thomas characters I don't care for building. The logging locos can stay the hell away. Oh boy, you know. What about Heisler or Climax locomotive? What are they? Now let's open 2 tabs. A climax locomotive. Oh, that's what one of the logging locos is, like a Shay. Heisler, which is kind of the same thing. So basically, like a Shay. That's basically the question. Well, again, a Heisler isn't a Shay because there's actual valve gear, not just proper drive gears. But yeah, I mean, again, this was something else that also kind of went on my list temporarily forever ago. But it's also one of those locos that doesn't really have my kind of interest. So, I mean, again, I could definitely make this, but there are other people out there who have made Shay style locomotives that are way better than mine. So I don't need to really, well, not to bother with making them, but there's other people that have done it better than I have. And besides, this isn't the sort of locomotive that I build in the first place. Going back to what I said earlier, again, I kind of focus on streamlined passenger stuff. These sort of Shay style locomotives are not really down my alley. Geared locos like Shays. Yeah. I remember seeing that just hit me with a bit of nostalgia. Okay, I need to quickly see. Okay. There was so I've just remembered of, well, technically it was two videos made by the same guy. Creation? What do we call them? So there were two videos made by a guy on YouTube who, these videos are years old. And my own ligature, is that them? God, is that them? I think I hear train, but I'm not sure. Oh, you hear a train outside, okay. So yeah, going back to this, I remember seeing two videos made by the same guy, just showing off his Lego train mocks that he made. Again, years and years old, but given the time, a lot of these models were so cool. Is that the video I'm thinking of? Oh my god, I think it is. Yes, it is! Oh my god, I found the video. Okay, I will share these. Oh, right. Right, I need to save these videos and post them in the Discord server because hot damn, this is a serious hit of nostalgia for me. Go back to that one there. Right, so train marks. God, this guy hasn't posted in years. Oh, good. Right, I'll tell you what. Let me Oh, actually, if I, oh, that's something else to watch later on. That's going back on the. Sorry for the distraction, by the way, but I want to get this out of the way quickly before. Tell you what, let me just put the channel in the server. There we go. So these are really old Lego train videos. Well, again, 14 years ago to 7 years ago, but with the odd video being that 7-year ago thing. But man, oh man, thinking back to all that time ago, some of the stuff he made was incredible. That is okay. That's a genuine, that is some proper nostalgia for me. That is really cool. But yeah, there was, I think in one of these videos, yeah, well, there it is in the part 2. He's got, in the thumbnail for part 2, is a Shay locomotive. And I think there was, there's definitely at least a couple of Lego train layouts vlogs. You know, like sorry, I'm just get rid of it. Okay. So there were these Lego train, like when you go to a Lego show and you see these train layouts in a vlog. I remember it might have been Brick Model Railroad or one of those ones where a Shay loco was just going on and you can see the gears turning between the wheels as it slowly goes along. And I thought that was a really cool thing to see because the functionality is there. But yeah, this goes back to that's not something I would really make. But yeah. Right. After all this time, FAQs done. There we go. We're going to there. Why not? Oh, that was pretty good. Check, 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 check. Okay, that's all good. That's all done there. Where is that one? Right, I need to also have a look up for Nerf Elite 2.0 Storm Charge, because this blaster has my interest. Oh, it's on the wiki as well. Is it out yet? I wonder if does anybody know when this is coming out? Well, the last time it was the Moto Blitz for last year. When that got leaked, it was like in February, but it wasn't coming out until about September or so. Date as yet unknown. That's all right then. So yeah, just to quickly get this out of the way, I have some more Nerf content on the way in the future. Recently, there was a leak for a new blaster called the Storm Charge, which looks to be another Strife version. But I'm really keen to get this one because it seems like it's a good blaster. It's not released yet, so it's a bit difficult to tell. But the images, like again, image of the blaster, it's in the box, and a couple of images of the magazine being inserted. But basically in play, like someone putting in the magazine, someone taking off the stock. There's a bunch of images out already, but the blaster itself does not seem to be released. But there's no suggested release dates, which is a bit of a shame because I really do want to get this one. But you know, that's something to focus on at another time. The train sounds very far away if it is one. Well, that's a good thing then. No horrible distraction sounds. Unlike round here, where every now and then you hear a car raging their, or someone raging their car engine in the background. That's not happened for a good while, to be honest. That's a good thing. Not quite as frequent as it used to be. Right, we still have 40 more minutes of live stream to go through. We're still doing Q&A stuff, so you have any more questions, you know, get them in the chats. Feel free to ask anything you like. Within reason, of course. You know, but that goes without saying anyways. Whew. I feel a bit out of breath. I don't know about you lot, but... Oh, man. I might have to... Oh, yeah, let me put those models back down on the floor 1 second. I've also just realised. Oh, my God. LucasAid coaches. Oh, my God. This is so stupid. Let me put that one there. Would you consider my W2 as streamlined? I think, let me get rid of these 1 sec so I'm not distracted. Okay, so I live near a Heritage Row Road. Oh yeah, American. So on still summer afternoons, I hear the echoing whistle. That is cool. With your W2, I think Grizzly's P2 and W1 were technically classed as streamlined, or at least air smoothed, because the front. Let me have another quick look at your model, because just as a visual representation. But the thing is, I say air smooth instead of streamlined because the Southern Railways West Country has an air smoothed casing. It would be streamlined if the front end of the boiler, or the smoke box rather, would have a sorry, just reading the chat as well, will have a streamlined front end, something dedicated. Think the Coronation Scots and think the A4s. So if I do, that should work. Yes, there it is. Aha. Your 7 wide model, and it looks lovely. Is that the 7 wide version? No, that's the 6 wide. That's the 7 wide version. There we go. That looks even better. I like how you've got the front, the pilot bogey covered up as well. That's very cool. But yeah, I wouldn't really count that as streamlining. That's more air smoothed. But that's on the sakes of a technicality being the front end of the locomotive isn't, you like looking at the image here of the model. That is, I can see the smoke box door. You got smoke deflectors. Again, running board downwards. That looks streamlined. And that looks really lovely. But again, this goes back to the technicality thing where, yes, it's got some streamlining elements, but it's more air smoothed, and that is different from streamlining. So my answer, at least, would be rather frustratingly, yes and no. But I would be very interested to see if you would make another version of this. Pardon me. Make another version of this where you kind of remove the smoke deflectors and try something for the front of the smoke box to make it a little bit more streamlined. I don't think you probably would, because obviously it's supposed to be a W2. It's supposed to look like the W1 and stuff. Well, it kind of looks like the W1 because of the wheel arrangement, but it's definitely got that plus the P2. I want to see this in real life, god damn it. Like, you took this to a Lego show. I can't remember which one because my brain doesn't work properly. But I remember seeing the picture. Was it? No, someone posted someone was at the show. I don't know if it was actually your account or if it was someone else who went to the show. Yeah, I think it was someone else's who made a couple of YouTube shorts, and your model of the W2 was there. God. Shildon, yes, that was it. Yeah, and I definitely remember seeing some. You did a video. Oh, it might have been your one that I saw then. Get a bit off topic now, but yeah, I think I would personally say this is more air smooth than streamlining, but that doesn't take away from that seriously, that running board, the covered wheels, looks really cool. I love that. Excellent. But yeah, that goes on again, like I said, given other locomotives, I think with Grizzly's W1 and P2, maybe they counted as streamlining. The W1 more so, but even then, it was a bit difficult to kind of really come to that conclusion because there's more air smoothing technicalities with it than streamlining. Because again, streamlining takes in the front kind of all being like an encompassed all-round design, that sort of thing. Montague says, have you seen Thomas Multiverse of Madness trailer? Oh, good lord. What the? No, Multiverses of Maddens. That's, oh, good lord. Is it in there? Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to actually watch this because I've made my thoughts known on fan content earlier. It's not something I really care for watching, but... Okay, Multiverses of Maddens. Thomas and the Multiversal Railroad of Madness. Okay, there's a couple there. You know what? I don't even need to see the actual thing anymore because there's Thomas and the Multiverse, a 2-hour movie. Oh, good lord, no, I'm not watching that. There's like a 38-second video where it acts like a trailer, and when you hover over it, the thing kind of plays this sort of preview. That's all I need to see. I get it now. But man, that does look pretty good. I might even watch that later on. It's not bad yet. All right, fine. I'll save that for after the stream. God, Thomas fan content is just wild sometimes. Missing the pony truck, it keeps falling apart. Oh no. Well, I suppose that's what you can do for Mark. Well, actually, that would be Mark 3 because Mark 1 was the 6 wide model. Mark 2 was a 7 wide model. Mark 3 could be 8 wide. Then suppose you want to go 8 wide with that W2. The actual mock showcase is due, but I'm moving in a couple of days. It will be next week. Oh, yes. I'll make sure to, well, send me a message or something when you get that posted because I would love to see a proper video on it. Again, I would love to actually see that in person, but the video will be the next best thing. Oh, come on, go 8 wide. It's lovely. Well, it's ironic. I put it back down there. But like I said earlier, my Annie and Clarabelle coaches are 7 wide, which is, I think, is a good thing because for the sake of like scale consistency, well, not scaling, but it makes more sense for those coaches to be 7 wide than 8 wide. Strictly speaking, it's 7.8 wide due to the plates. 7.8. Oh, hang on, let me make sure keep that paused. There we go. Save that for afterwards. Yeah, it's weird how it's well, it makes sense because it's not a full extra brick in width because the plates do have their own thing going on. The ones covering the wheels. But at that point, it may as well. I wouldn't even say, oh, it's 7.8. So, like, again, not trying to knock you or anything, but me personally, I would just say this is basically now an 8 wide model. I've never been one to count or like calculate how wide or how big technically something should be in terms of, again, like using plates and kind of measuring it going outwards, because when you put a plate sideways, it's its own sort of dimension, whatever else. But yeah, basically what you just said there, that's basically everything that needs to be known. It's 7 wide, but it's thicker in some places, so it's on a technicality. But that's all right though. Oh, what's going on here? That's okay. Oh yeah, need to keep that one up. Don't delete. Are we good to go with everything else? I think that's. Well, that's something else I could bring up. So, I am making progress on episode 8 of the. Oh, making sure the tablet doesn't lag out there. I am making progress on episode 8 of the Brick Railway Builders podcast. It is going to be a very good episode. The episode will begin recording next Sunday, which is very exciting. Always fun to get another podcast out. And yeah, it's going to be another Lego Thomas Builder because it seems to be easier for me to get a hold of Lego Thomas Builders. The issue I have is these episodes are actually really starting to, well, I've said this loads of times, for goodness sakes, that these episodes are coming out much slower than I thought they would be. And, oh, pardon me. And trying to find people to get onto the show is a bit difficult. So just looking at some, let's go to back to Discord. Let's go to this place. So there's plenty of people in this particular chat that I'm in now that would definitely be good. That would, let me start that again. That would definitely be good as a guest for the show because we kind of have the same thing. But there's not that many people there. We can all figure out a time to organize the recording. And whilst they all have Thomas characters as their main models, it's going to be kind of samey, which is not a good thing because I don't want to have to interview the same, like I don't know, like a dozen different Lego Thomas character builders, only for some of their answers to be very similar because it's an interview style podcast. And if I were to go to my server, for example, there are over 200 people in the server, but at the same time, trying to find people in the server that would make a good guest is a bit challenging. It's mainly because a lot of the people I have got in my server are a bit younger than me, and in that case, they're a bit too young to kind of really have on as a podcast guest. Another group of people I can go for are, of course, clubmates, but the issue there is there's a separate project going on regarding those clubmates, which for whatever reason is taking its time, but that is besides the point. So actually trying to find people for the podcast is getting difficult because I mean I don't know if it's just because I'm looking in one place, but if I go to some of the Facebook groups about Lego trains, I could give them an invitation, but it, it feels out of place if that makes sense. I mean, I'm doing everything and I'm more recognized and understood on Discord. If I go to again one of these other groups, basically somewhere outside of Discord, it's gonna be a bit weird, so to say. But at the same time, I've still got episode 8 in the works, which is very cool. So yeah, that's something to look out for, of course. So I'm just having a quick look as well. Again, there's loads of people I'd love to sit down and have a chat with, but again, like people like, oh, this is a duck. Hello, thank you very much for tuning in. Welcome to the stream. So, yeah, I mean, I've said this loads of times already, and I don't need to repeat myself. But trying to find the right people is becoming a bit tricky. Sorry, I missed the start of the stream. You were streaming yourself, were you now? Let's go to channel. How was it streaming? Like, what was your stream like? Was it good? Well, it's not on YouTube, it seems. I suppose it was on Instagram, maybe? Where was it you were streaming to? Oh, yeah, there's a couple of things I need to rewatch there as well, so I'll keep that tab up. Oh, it was on Twitch. Oh, you brave boy. Sorry that page is in another castle. You might want to update the Twitch tag you have on your channel because it's not actually taking me there. Don't worry, I'm not going to do any streamception. We're not doing that today. One thing I would actually, speaking of streams, what was it? Was it OBS? OBS screen. Ooh, screen recorder. I am looking at getting something for screen recording on my PC. That way I could stream myself playing a couple of games, and we can make these live streams a bit more interactive. And I think OBS is the way to go. I might have to play with that tomorrow. So if anybody remembers when I used to do video calls in my Discord server, I recently tried that again with the club a couple of weeks ago. I think it was only last week actually, which is good. And we played What the Dub, which was a lot of fun. And it turns out before then I hadn't played that game for about 2.5 years, or something like, yeah, maybe like 2 years, something like that. But my god, What the Dub was a lot of fun to play. And I would love to do a live stream of it. So if I can get a screen recording thing to work, then that is something I would absolutely do in the future. Oh, legs getting a bit numb again. Don't cross your legs for too long, because if you do that, you're gonna kind of ruin your legs. Whew. Okay. We still have 20 minutes left. That's pretty good, you know. Doing these longer streams is kind of fun. At this point, it starts to really run out of steam. But at the same time, I do think these 2-hour streams should become the new norm. So, obviously, streaming for 1 hour in the evenings every time is easy for me because, you know, it's between 8 o'clock and 9 o'clock in the evening. After this, I can just wind down and do whatever. And it's a good thing to kind of keep, it's a good balance because you can do an hour and keep it jam packed. But doing these longer streams up until about maybe 10 minutes ago, it's still been going pretty well. But it's at this point where things start to really slow down. There's nothing new to really talk about at this point. Everything on my end is all up to date. We are still supposed to be getting questions in, but everyone who had questions has pretty much asked them. I use Streamlabs for streaming, but I do want to update to OBS at some point. The Open Broadcast. Oh, that's what that stands for. Yes, I am going to be getting OBS. I may as well even try it tonight after the stream. I don't know. I'm a bit tempted. Let me keep that one there. There we go. So, yeah, I might have to even change this to about an hour and a half in the future, because if I don't have something planned, like if I'm not streaming myself making models, for example, then you know trying to do these longer streams will be a bit too tedious. Yeah, saying that, it might be worth ending the stream now because you know it is very flat at this point. So unless anyone has any more questions for me, I am quite tempted to end the stream here because we have gone on for an hour 40 minutes. That's pretty damn good still. A whole year of live streaming as well. That's still insane. Let me just make sure I may as well just even get these out now. So I need that one. The John Henry. I remember this. Does this guy have ads on his video? No, he doesn't. I can look these up right now. Sorry, I've still got the tab up of the nostalgic Lego train videos from forever ago. Oh, I remember looking at his giants as well as just something that I thought I would love to make one day, and it turns out it's actually possible. It's like, what? Man, go back 10 years, and maybe not, well, it has to be a little bit more than 10 years, go back 15 years before the release of the Emerald Knight, basically. And that's where things were completely different. The possibility of stuff was just not really there. But nowadays, you got choice galore, and it's brilliant. Last one. Come along, come along. Is that the same thing? Oh, I think it's supposed to be the same thing. That's not good. Right. I know that chat is going, so let's have a quick look. I think I know why my Twitch link doesn't work. I think it's because I changed the channel name. Oh, okay. Thomas Strain says, question, do you plan to build a fireless engine? Not really. Again, this is one of those many models that isn't quite on my to build list. A fireless engine is quite cool in concept, and in fact, Glasgow Brick Subway, who was here earlier, does have one. And it's one of those cases of I have seen that model in real life, and he's basically built one for me. So yeah, cool little model though. Who is this? I mean, this is a duck, I suppose. I'm planning on making a Toby mod, but I don't really know where to start it. I'm afraid I can't really help you there because the Toby model I have wasn't built by me. It was part of a model swap of something I made for him, he made for me. We swapped models, and happy days. So yeah, there are plenty of. I'm pretty sure Toby is one of those models where there's loads of them out there because it is actually quite a simple model. I would strongly recommend, if anything, because Toby is an 060, it's not actually worth making a 6-wheel base unit for Toby, because the side skirts are going to hide the wheels in the first place. So you may as well just make an 040 chassis, something really simple, and just put the side skirts over that. That's your best bet. I updated it. Can you check if it worked? Yes, of course. Go to your channel. Oh, my dinner is not sitting well. That's not a good thing. My War Thunder Twitch channel. There it is. Yep, that works wonders. And I suppose War Thunder is the game you play. Yeah, very. Oh, yes, the link works. Very good stuff. RK says, Luke, do you play Minecraft? I haven't played Minecraft in the longest time. I don't even. Let me just quickly check a thing. Is it written down here? Yes, it is. Okay. So I could now technically log back into Minecraft. But, oh my god, I haven't played that in forever. The thing is, this is what I did last time when I played Minecraft. I binged it for like 2 weeks and got bored, but at the same time, this is probably what I'm going to do straight away. I don't care for a whole survival thing. I would love to play creative mode and just make a bunch of sculptures and that sort of thing. But I remember the last time I did anything survival mode related, I went into peaceful mode and just dug a massive pit. I don't think, well, maybe not peaceful mode. I think it was on easy. I think it was easy for the sake of not being too boring. But I just dug this like 50 block by 50 block pit. I remember RT Game did a stream where he got a bunch of community members to dig this incredibly huge pit for him as a stream. I thought, that's cool. I'm going to dig my own pit. Oh my god! Speaking of RT Game, sorry, hang on. I need to check up with him. So, speaking of RT Game, he is a YouTuber, a member of the Ogscast, a very lovely bloke. He got screwed over by YouTube a couple of weeks ago. He had a couple of issues with some videos not having certain features activated. Had someone from YouTube check his videos, and he got screwed over. That's a problem. He took some time. Well, he's still, I suppose, taking some time away from YouTube, or is he streaming again? I will be back streaming again tomorrow. We'll be in the being today. Thank you for bearing with me with this kind of support. Oh, I hope he's doing good. But yeah, it's one of those issues where he asked YouTube for help, but he got screwed over royally, and that's just not good. Such a thing probably won't affect me, given that my channel only has 4,000 subscribers. This isn't what I do for a living, but at the same time, the fact that that sort of thing happens, it's just, that's not what you want to see, you know. I want to make the word YouTube a swear word, and I need your help. I'm back 2023 live on Twitch. Well, I'm pretty sure he'll do good there. But yeah, shout out to RT Game, lovely bloke. Let's go to this one here. Oh, scroll. Oh, there we go. Yeah, we're there. So I just posted the eco skeleton of what I want to make it look like on my community tab. What version of the game was it on when you last played properly? I don't know. Let's have a quick. Can I get out? Launcher. If I do that, no idea. I don't want to try risk. Well, if I do load it up now, it's not going to interfere with the stream because I'm streaming with the tablet. But the thing is, if I load it right now, or at least get the game launcher up, it's absolutely going to install an update, and I just cannot be bothered with that right now. Like, good lord, really? They are going to add camels to Minecraft. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that's been added to Minecraft over the years. I remember a period of time, I suppose, about this time a decade ago, I suppose, where loads of people made mods for Minecraft, just adding all of these things. Well, nothing in particular, I suppose. Some redstone machine stuff and some armors and whatever else. And as updates kept coming in, it was adding all those mod stuff. So I think Minecraft, to the point where they've already added all the cool things. Now it's just we're adding camels. But yeah. Oh, speaking of adding stuff to Minecraft, they are actually adding some, or continue to add some lore things, because I know Game Theory and MatPat have this series of Minecraft lore videos, which is actually really fun to have. Linking minecarts, yes, that's something I want to see. I like Minecraft trains. That's something I remember doing as well. Well, I set up this vast railway network, but the fact that you could only use mine carts was just really disappointing. But a full-on engine, not even really a steam engine, for the sake of not chewing through people's frame rates. Even then, a steam loco isn't impossible, with the mechanics being very simple. Get a bucket of water, or like a bunch of buckets of water, and the whole thing of coal, and just let that drive. It would be like a furnace where it kind of slowly goes through the water and the coal. You can have like a lever, like similar to Choo Choo Charles, where there's like a lever where you just hit the lever, it goes forward, and it slowly begins to consume the coal and the wood. Oh, it could work. Oh, it could actually work. Oh yes. Well, that's a steam engine at least. You can make a redstone powered diesel. Oh, that would be good, like a redstone diesel. Yeah, they do need to add this. Oh, but the thing is, it's not so much Minecraft needs to add this. Someone just needs to make that mod. You know, the furnace minecart. Wasn't there more minecarts? I know there's a chest minecart, and was there a dispenser mine? Or was there a dispenser minecart? I'm probably misremembering. Minecraft steam locomotive with carts like passenger cars or something. Yeah, just like I think it was Ed that yeah Ed said a moment ago, linking mine carts. So that way you can get in the front one and four chest carts behind you, and you just take all your loot with you back to your home base. Because that was the best. Chest furnace hopper TNT empty. There was a TNT one. I think I remember that. Oh man, that was a thing. And the furnace was removed. Hmm. But yeah, the chest one is actually really. Oh, this was a thing as well. That reminds me of a thing with Minecraft. So I remember this was forever ago. I think this was when I reintroduced myself back into. I had to delete the world because of it. And so what happened was when I was playing Minecraft, went mining, got loads, like shed loads of gems, and it was just the best. It got to the point where I had so many, I had to kind of climb out and make a chest, put some of the stuff in the chest, and then come back for it. But I didn't have a map. But like the updated, like the current map thing is like or at least the way that they use the map in game is bloody awful, and I hate it. I miss where you could just have one map and that just shows the whole world. Never mind it being one section. Never mind it being that. Oh, just why is it got to be so complicated? I hate that so much. And at the time, anyway, when I did this, I didn't have any maps to begin with. So I put my stuff in a chest, and I decided to. Was it? Did I? Was able to go? I don't think I was able to get any console commands like chat commands, or like be able to go into creative god mode or whatever it's called. Again, I haven't played them forever, but I remember trying to. I don't remember if it was actually flying around or if I was just spending forever walking into a certain direction until I could actually find my home. But I had traveled so far away that I spent the rest of maybe like an hour or so just searching, trying to find a way back to home base, but I just couldn't find the way there. So I deleted. I thought, sod this, deleted that like world and just started again. Again, I found diamonds galore, loads of gold, iron, whatever else. It was absolutely packed. But yeah, I had to basically leave all of that behind because I traveled too far away from home. But that was when I decided to. I also remember going to for I think I had a map. Was there a map? I don't know. But I remember traveling to a certain space, making a base, building a long ass tunnel in one direction and one in another direction to the point where I had these four bases as four corners with a minecart railway shaft thing connecting the houses together. And that was really that was I might even still have that if I log back in. But that was a really cool thing because there was basically one house in each biome. There was resources in all the houses, and it was a cool way of getting one place to another, or at least one section of the world to another rather quickly. I want to say that was done legit, but I don't know if it was. Maybe it was. No idea. Again, this was forever ago, so maybe I cheated in all those tracks. Can't remember. You can now have a 1000 by 1000 map. I think we've all done something like that before. Yeah, these are cool things. I just posted the shell of my Toby. That's what I want to look like on my community tab. Well, let's have a look. Now my nose is starting to get blocked. That's a good shell shape, yeah. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 wide. This man knows how to build. Nah, I'm joking. But yeah, it's definitely a good starting point. And I love that you are incorporating the idea of using parts in whatever color is available to just build the model. So yeah, that's, oh, I can see a motor tucked away there. Yep, I can see that motor. That's very good as well. If you can tuck away all of the power function details inside there, that's pretty damn good as well. Well, I suppose that'd be one better if you use powered up system, so you don't have to worry about faffing around with the infrared receiver. Oh, pardon me. So yeah, good starting point. Right then, that will actually be the end of the stream. We are very close to 2 hours, but there is very little else to chat about. All the questions have been answered. We are about to ding 2 hours anyway, and that will do for me this evening. So, thank you all ever so much for tuning in for as long as you have. Again, this was 2 hours. Not as exciting as I hoped this would be, but at the same time, we got through 2 hours of live streaming, so that was very cool indeed. Thank you once again for tuning in, everyone. This was lovely to do, and no, it was 2 hour stream, but 1 year of live streaming. I keep getting that confused. A whole year of live streaming. It is so cool. So yeah, that's just amazing because these live streams started out as an experiment, and I suppose it's one of those things where you give it a try and see how it goes. Something like the community challenge, for example, it's a cool thing to try, and because there was enough people that kind of took part and stayed tuning in, that's why it works. But these live streams have really taken off. Just these simple sit down for an hour, chat with you, answer some questions, that's always really fun. And all the more advanced streams I've done where I've had the camera down there when I'm building something, that's always been really fun as well. So to be able to do all of this is just amazing. And yes, Duck, here is to another year of live streams. So thank you all ever so much for tuning in. As always, all of these special links, stuff that you need for my socials are in the description. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you all next time. Take care, everybody. I shall see you all soon. Bye, everyone.